There are two events in one, which is why I'm pushing this one so much. You will say, holy cow, when you're done watching this video because your experience at the bank is raising a lot of red flags and alarms for you. And you'll agree with me once I give you the information I told you about, and all the talk is true. The excitement is, in fact, real. I also made hints about Ozark on Twitter. Now let's talk about the idea. Now, ladies and gents, let me tell you something. I'm not sure if I will put this movie out right now. What's the point? Is this a way to get people to react? But I'm not doing it for historical reasons. Now that I think about it, posting this kind of movie on this scale makes sense. Also, the CEO of Tether has already blocked me on Twitter, so I'm not like a fish that has never been seen before in the water right now. I'm going to show you a movie which is bad. Watch this movie very carefully. Yes, pay close attention. The other man is probably Dave from Kick, and it's between him and Dave Portnoy. But Tether just did something crazy by investing in them strategically. I'll go over everything in more depth after you hear the amount of money. But first, let me get you warmed up. First, Jacob King tweeted that Tether hasn't issued in about 2 weeks. I looked around inside again. You know, this was also a good time for the markets, and Bitcoin was worth 104,000 last time they printed. You should know that the markets have been losing money for 2 weeks now. Let's look back to November to remember. You will see that the market goes up every time Tether mints. It has to do with Bitcoin. After minting 1 billion Bitcoins, Tether does what they were supposed to. You do and mints a few more. Then they double the mints and do it again for 2 billion? This was the last day of November. Next we did 1 billion and then 2 billion. Okay, November 24th. Also, watch this video carefully because what you're about to hear is amazing. I think that too much was said because of how excited everyone was. But it looks like they just told me everything they were going to do. Also, please tell me if I'm wrong. I did work against money laundering, though. My study of obedience has been going on for 10 years. Okay, listen up, this runs in my family. I had to do this, it needs to be done every year. Pay attention to this too. The things that were said here are hard to believe. I also learned that the CEO of Tether had shared this on Twitter. Pay attention to this too. Chris, how are things going? Can you hear me well? That's very clear to me. Good job. I'm currently talking to someone who is a lot richer than I am. I think you're talking about 40% right now. Please tell us about the deal. Connect. I learned more about Tether, a new coin. I learned more about the cryptocurrency. They did make a lot of money with safe currencies, but they want to grow. You, on the other hand, know a lot more. Please tell us about the background of everything going on here. Yes, Tether did take a 700 set there. They are smartly putting $775 million into investments. There are 700 of them. They are putting $775 million into Rumble in a smart way. We think this is great because Tether is the first significant partner that Rumble has seen in the market. As a result, it's very exciting for us in many ways. They came up to us about a month ago. Yes, it was over pretty quickly. It went by very quickly. Yes, it was over very quickly. Yes, it went by very quickly. In addition, they said they wanted to buy as much Rumble as they could. You know, they said they were going to buy as much Rumble as possible. Because of this, each insider was free to sell as much as they wanted. 7 million shares were the most they were able to find. In other words, they are making a big difference in cleaning up the cap table. A big chunk of about $250 million will also be available to help us grow the cloud even more, bringing more content providers to the platform and working on other projects. We've had a great chance, and if you don't know who Tether is or what they do, I think it fits with the Rumble philosophy in a huge way. Finish some schoolwork, so we have a normal day port or something, but what study coin market cap is the US market cap of $140 billion? What a great disruptor, huh? For example, do you hear that? However, let us say that this is wonderful. That's right, here's some real money that's not just floating around, so let me explain. As you know, the process of moving money has 3 very important steps, okay? So there are 3 parts: adding, arranging, and putting things in place. And I'll tell you everything that's going on so you know what's happening with this kick. Okay, Tether got the position just right. Because of this, this is where illegal money comes into the banking system. In our case, we had the $775 million from Tether, and it was put right into Kick. The location is most of the time the most. You know, the door is pretty much the first place movers go. That's right. In this way, it is the most important step because it is here that it goes from having somewhat shaky starts to becoming a real organization. And when it goes through Kick, that's where this huge amount of money comes in. Then there's the layering itself. That's right. This is the stage where the action takes place, making the money move after it has been put. As soon as the money needs to be moved between several accounts, exchanges, and transfers, red flags start to show up. Because of this, it is a little harder to track. This is done right here. This means that they are making a big difference in cleaning up the cap table. Then there will be a big part worth about $250 million that will allow us to support more growth, make the cloud bigger, and get more content makers to use the platform. And other projects. Yes, all of these people. No one knows how many deals they will sign. This is why Kick is giving away $10 million as a sign-up bonus, and all of these guys are saying, listen, I'm listening. Something is happening with what I just said. Are you aware of the reason Kick gives such big signing bonuses? Think about it. And I've worked my whole life to stop people from laundering money. As an example, think about what we just showed you. All right, watch the movie again. There was too much said against of them. I think we may have just opened a can of worms. That is very, very scary for the whole cryptocurrency community. That's right. Before I move on to the third step of integration, why wouldn't USDT use this money to make the world's finances more open to everyone? For instance, why don't they try to make their systems better? Why will they give money to Kick, which supports artists like Jack Dorothy, who drive on wet metal roads and do stupid pedals to the metal? Then they record it like it was the first time. This is what businesses do to lose money. That's right. Listen, when you're working with $775 million, you make the whole process very complicated by going through insurance claims and giving these people hosed to crash. I think about what this short 10-minute picture just showed us. Also, it's taking 7 minutes or less. This is pretty big. In other words, do you know what's going on? Is that right? This is where the money is cleaned up after all of these insurance claims, signing bonuses, and other ways of getting back into the system. It's just so real. So if Kickstarter shows $775 million as income, investments, or other forms that are easy to accept, that's integration right there. Is that right? That's the last act. Once that turns into an investment, it's over. Is that right? That's pretty much clean. That looks really clean. It looks like we're in the placement stage and there are signs of layering and maybe even beginning based on what we can see and what I showed you while you watched the movie. But if that's the case, we're just waiting to see. Let's tell the truth. You know what to do. Click the like button. It's not something I'm proud of, but this video is very, very different from the last one. I'm sure you want to know, why are you making this video? It is in fact happy. The information is great. That's right. Think about what I just said. That's right. You should think about where we are in the cryptocurrency environment after reading this. It makes you think, which is good. We're not sure if we're just finding out about shady money laundering or if these people are bad at public relations. Could it be that Dave, the young CEO, got too excited and told too many people too much? That's right. While cake is nice, let's spend more than $1 billion in one day. Okay, that's right. Hi, it's nice to meet you, is said. You should know that we love the work you do here. This is $500 million, which is almost as much money as a small country makes in a year because we're in a blockchain. Please take this. Instead of making ourselves better, building up our facilities, and trying to get rules in other jurisdictions, let's give it another shot since this might be the end for them. Is this the end? Are they just trying to get as much cash out of their bags as possible? That's right. This is not at all what I've ever learned about placing, and it goes against everything I've ever learned. And it's clear that you know this isn't it. That's right. In the end, I'm not saying that Tether is totally to blame for money laundering, but I'm also not saying that it's not true either. It's not enough to just drop almost $1 billion.